Okay, this part of the video series is going to be really, really friggin' wild. But this is information for those people out in the Gulf. There is so much poison out there that the media is not going to tell you about, and it can kill you. I have made one video that says move. And the responses I got back is no, I choose to stay here and fight back. And I've gotten a little bit of negative responses from that. So this information is really friggin' wild, but this is reality. And again, listen to yourself. Try and comprehend this message. While that poison can kill you, it also does not have to affect you. I realized this when I noticed I was never getting sick. I was a mother of four, and anytime I had a cold or a flu, then the ex-husband, who was my husband at the time, would get sicker. And I had four kids to feed, and then I had him to look after because he always had these demands on me, even though I was sick and probably sicker than he was. So there's this phenomenon that goes on that mothers don't get sick. Why? Because we don't have time to get sick, and we develop this subconscious existence where if you don't have time to get sick, you don't get sick. And while I was starting to notice this, I started keeping track of it. And it was well over 10 years that I never had a cold or a flu. And when I would tell people that, they would say it's full of bullshit and stuff. So I would actually drink out of cups of people that were deadly sick with flu. They've been off work, and vomiting for, 2 weeks at a time. And they would drink out of a cup, and I would drink out of the same cup as them because that's technically how colds and flus are passed on to each other. I also noticed that my kids weren't getting sick. And I could also see that when and if anybody did get sick, I could see, what it is they were needing at the time. Um, so this information is really, really imperative if you choose to stay and not get affected by all of this poison. Trust that what we know to be true is not exactly all that true. And while we say there is poison out there that can kill you, it's that belief in those chemicals that will create the illness. On a quantum level, you can actually create like a force field around you that prevents any poison from entering into your body. Part of that force field or strength in understanding this is do not have any hate. Do not be in fear at all. Do not buy into this is poison. And believe in yourself. Believe in this force field that you have around you. Sort of visualize it. It does have power. And fill yourself with love and a knowing that you have the solution. If you feel hopeless and helpless, then you will get sick. You have to fill your mind and your belief systems with the reality that you do have more power than the evil forces. You have to gain strength, and by doing that, you need the opposite. The strength is, the fear, so don't have fear. Um, the strength you need to overcome is the hate, so throw love at it. You have to be the opposite of what is actually out there. And you have to learn to listen to your inner voice through the peaceful experiences that you have. Everything is information. And this problem is, it looks like it's a thing, it's a physical thing out there, but it's actually not. Think of it as information, And this is where this holodynamics comes into play. Look at it from a holographic perspective. Look at it as a thing that you can actually communicate with it. And start communicating with this problem. Ask it what it wants. And start listening to your intuition. You'll start to get these things that pop into your mind. And you will only get the right answer if you're in this loving, peaceful state of mind and asking it good questions of what it wants. The deal is to give it what it wants, and that's the wildest thing. And part of the answers that you'll get, I'll give you an example, like the smoking addiction that I want. I looked at it from the same perspective and asked it what it wants. And its first response was, I want to kill you. You know, I want you out of the pain so you won't have any pain and you'll have peace. And so, you know, it's not the deal to give that what it wants, you know, that it wants to kill me, but to look at the voice that says, I want you to be in peace and not live in this world that's so full of hate. So it's been a process of trying to teach this thing, this problem, how to do things in a better way. I don't want it to kill me. So it's, how do I throw peace at this problem? And part of it is I've had to, you know, be the peace, because in actual fact, that problem that is out there is actually coming from in you. If it wants peace, then you need to learn and teach yourself how to be peace without dying. And you have to start having this dialogue with this problem, and you have to teach this problem how to do things a little differently. And trust, you're only dealing with your own subconscious mind. This problem is only a reality of your own subconscious belief systems, and it's a matter of finding what you believe to be true, and do you really want to believe that, or do you want to believe something completely different? And that's where I'm at with this smoking addiction. Is it's telling me to be stronger. Not exactly all that strong, but I know that it's giving me the strength to create these videos. It's giving me the peace and calmness to learn how to communicate a little bit more effectively. And I think I'm doing a lot better than I was 2 years ago. When you're angry and frustrated and you're screaming for help, the people that are claiming to be out there to help you can't understand a word that you're saying. They can't make any logic sense out of what you're saying. So for me, I had to be the peace and calm myself down. Otherwise, I would have looked like I was totally mentally ill. Actually, a lot of people think that I'm mentally ill, but if they are the ones that are actually the ones mentally ill, I will be perceived as being mentally ill. So you will only view things from the perspective that you're looking at it. And if you think things aren't coming from you, you will throw out these accusations to other people. Humanity happens to be a little insane right now, so if humanity looks at me and says I'm insane, then I have the potential to buy into that. And that's basically what mental illness is somebody will throw you a diagnosis. They've put labels on natural human behavior and say that it's a mental illness. And then they traditionally have, you know, different behaviors that are associated with it, and they throw that at you, so you start behaving exactly the way they want you to be behaving, and then the next thing you know, you're mentally ill. But you have to be stronger than what people accuse you of, and realize that whatever their accusations are is actually coming from them, and they're viewing you through their eyes of their perspective. Know who you are. Gain your strength. Don't buy into labels and diagnosis. That will, you know, if you buy into it, then you create it and then you'll experience it. So that's my advice to anybody that chooses to stay in there. Obviously, you're the ground forces that's going to help solve a lot of this problem, and I'm outside of that area, and I'm trying to do my best to give you the power and energy needed to unfold some of these solutions. I'm doing whatever I can from this distance. And all the peace and love to everybody that's out there and wants to make a difference from down there. Love to all of you.